Hello and welcome to Michael Corbin's K911 YouTube channel. On this channel, you will learn about dog training, dog behavior, and dog care. We hope that you will appreciate the insight, expertise, and knowledge of Michael Corbin, who has trained and cared for dogs all of his life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this free information that Michael will be sharing with you. And now, Michael Corbin.
Hey, Gary. How's it going? Welcome, everybody, to the second segment of K911, specially made for YouTube.
Yes.
And here in the realityradio101.com studio, with me, as always, my go-to guy, Gary. Gary, I got to really appreciate you helping me out with this.
No problem.
I always involve reality radio in on this, too.
Can we plug ourselves?
Go ahead.
realityradio101.com. That's all you got to know.
That's all, right?
realityradio101.com. That's it.
Some good shows and all that, and great music. I suggest everybody
Thank
give it
you.
a listen. Hey, Gary. Hey, that's
well,
what I do.
Thank you very much.
That's what
We are here because we are sharing knowledge, expertise, insight about dog training, right? Dog behavior, dog care. It's a one-stop shop with Michael Corbin of K911. So, Mike, what is on your agenda for this particular
You got to remember
YouTube?
to let everybody know I am part of the Reality Radio 101
family.
One of the originators, when the station first
Commenced.
6
years ago.
I was going to say took off, but
Do you know
it did
6
take
years
off.
ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago, yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah, I was one of the first guys, even though now I don't do the show on
Yeah.
here on a regular basis. But yeah, I just, again, this is one dog trainer's opinion, right?
Mhm.
Either you like it or you don't. That's fine. I mean, that's pretty much with anything. But
Yeah.
you know what? If you want to listen in and hear what I have to say on certain techniques and topics and behavior issues with dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe this is the channel for you. But the thing is, what I have to say, I can't. It's hard for me to cover every topic that everybody expects me to cover. I mean, they could also comment and say, "Hey, what is your opinion on this topic?"
Well, they can always write you as well.
Write to me, and then if they want to hear me say it on the air here, I'll do it, or I'll just write back to them. But
Okay.
But you know what, Gary, I just gotta say something here. Yeah, you know, we always hear one thing that I see happen at dog schools, and the guy I help out too, Roger, which I mentioned in the previous episode, that's the guy who taught me dog training.
Mm-hmm. Roger who?
Mostly Roger Richards, right?
Okay, Roger Richards.
Every time he tells a person to do something with the dog,
Mm-hmm.
you get an excuse because that person doesn't like what he has to say. Well, you got to give it a tougher correction.
Yeah.
That's a Doberman.
They don't want to do it. It's their baby.
Well, I can't do it, or my back hurts.
It's
I just had back surgery,
Yeah.
and you know I can't really twist that way, or.
But it's
He'll
their
say-
baby usually.
And he'll
They
say,
don't
"Did
wanna-
you work with the dog?" And he could tell who
Yeah.
has worked
Yeah,
and
yeah.
who hasn't. I
Yeah,
could tell too.
yeah.
And it's always they give excuses, right?
Mhm.
Their son has, or their daughter had
Yeah.
gymnastics or football or hockey practice, swimming
Mhm.
lessons, whatever, any kind of
So
lesson.
we didn't work. We didn't have time.
have
You're
time.
saying
Yeah.
to work with the dog.
That's right.
Right.
And I can't stress enough saying, well, we know that's not true because it doesn't take long. You can add 20 minutes to anything,
Yeah.
and it benefits the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you how frustrating it could be for a dog trainer to hear excuses always from the dog owner, because every time you got to remember that these dog owners, they come in here to the schools or the academies or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
and they want their dog trained.
Yeah, but they don't want to do the work
But here's
outside
the thing,
school.
yeah, and at first they're willing to do it. They'll listen to the trainer. They'll give you the whole spiel, and then all of a sudden they see what it truly is or what's involved, and then
Mhm.
the excuses start, right? And then what happens is at the end of the course, because you only get it depends what school. You might get 6 lessons, you might get 10, you might
Mhm.
get 12. But at the end of the course, your dog's not trained because you haven't trained it properly or efficiently or on a
The
daily
trainer
basis.
has,
Yeah,
but not the people
Yeah.
going home.
that's right.
Right.
But if you take a class and he tells you go home, practice every day for 20 minutes at
Yeah.
least, 1 or 2 sessions, 20-minute lessons, and he doesn't do it, and then at the end of the course, what does that dog owner tell the other people outside?
Oh, he's no good of a
He's
trainer.
no good dog. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not a good dog trainer. I went to him. He
Yeah.
didn't do this.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Right.
But the real fact is, the dog owner missed 50% of the classes,
Yeah.
or hasn't done practicing it at home. He shows
Mhm.
up for classes, does the 1 hour lesson,
Mhm.
and then goes home and doesn't do anything for the week.
Well, let's put that in perspective. I used to teach guitar.
Right.
I'm the trainer. Student comes in. I show him some chords, show him how to play it, proper fingering, etc., etc. You go home. You don't practice. You don't do it. You come back the next time. You don't know the work. You don't know the chord. You don't know the music.
And you could tell.
And you can tell. So the point is, it's no difference with dog training. A dog trainer can teach you and your dog the proper command, the proper way, the proper procedure, and then say, now when you go home, I want you to do this 20 minutes a day every day until I see you next week. That's the only way it's going to get repetition. It's going to be in the dog's mind to do this. And if you don't do it, it's not going to make a difference because they're not going to learn.
That's right.
So, folks, it's the same thing when you go to a dog trainer and you're paying money and they teach you something. And then you go home and you don't do your job, and then you come back and you criticize the trainer or the school because you say, well, I paid all this money and look, my dog is still no better off. 99% of the time, it's not the dog trainer. He's the pro. It's you. Is that correct, Mike?
That is correct.
That's right.
Now, also, there is some bad dog trainers out there,
Yeah.
but most of the time, let's face it,
It's the
dog
person.
owner. Right.
Just like the guitar student.
Just like
It's not me. I know how to play.
Yeah. That's
You
right.
know, you
That's
come
right.
in and you learn, and you don't go home and
you can tell.
practice.
And you could tell. He comes in, and he'll come with an excuse, I had too much homework, I don't have time to practice.
Right.
Right? And then he lets slip out that he went to a party a few times
Right.
during the week.
Everybody's party.
Right. Or
That's right.
he didn't do anything. He watched the hockey game instead.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Yes.
I saw in the hallway. I haven't
What
seen him in
hallway?
a while. The hallway here in the studio.
Yeah.
Roadie Andy. He's still here?
Roadie.
Roadie Andy. You know, when you had your band there, Roadie Andy? Andrew?
Yeah.
Roadie?
Oh, yeah. Well, you mean the show, though, that was here?
No, yeah, him.
Oh.
He was your roadie, right?
No, not the guy
Well,
who
you
was
know-
here earlier.
No, not the guy here. I saw him. You know, he talks like this. Gary.
Okay,
That guy.
okay, that guy.
I don't know what
I
he's
don't
doing.
remember. Yeah,
What he's doing,
okay.
clean the washrooms now for you?
Yeah, something like that. Right, I get it. Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's why
sorry,
I wonder
yeah.
if you could get him in here.
yeah. Yeah, go do another one. All right. Could you see those people trying to train dogs?
Can you imagine them? Yeah, taking the course.
Yeah, we call them dopey grins.
And why is that?
Well, because, they're dopes, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to learn. They don't want to appreciate, they're very liberal. They don't care about anything. And you can't be that way with your dog. If you're going to learn, if you go to a dog trainer and you learn things with your dog, right? You can't have the attitude of, well, I tried, but, I was watching TV all week, the home sales, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
right.
anyways,
That's
we're
right.
getting a little off topic, but
Well, it's
that's-
good to get
yeah.
off topic of it and have some fun.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so,
Okay, anyways, last time I mentioned,
yeah,
really, there's 3 types of dog training, okay? The one they call food reinforcement, or a lot of people call it schmoozing, bribing.
wow,
What you do,
wow,
praise,
schmoozing and bribing.
praise the positive
Mhm.
behavior with food.
Yeah,
Ignore. Now, here's the difference. Ignore the bad behavior. They just ignore it. And
Yep.
when they call the dog, let's say the dog's doing a bad behavior, and you
Yeah.
just call him, and it happens to come back, then they reward the dog.
oh,
You see the problem there?
yeah. 'Cause
So the dog gets rewarded
Yeah.
for coming to you, and he's thinking, I'm getting rewarded for that bad behavior.
That's
So-
right,
But
not-
these guys don't want to listen to
Yeah.
that, right? But that's the schmooze basically all in a nutshell. They just,
So that's bad.
and they praise it usually by food reinforcement.
Yeah,
Second one, they call it mutual respect. Okay, you praise the good, you correct the bad.
right.
All right?
Just like you should
Yeah,
be doing to your
The
kid.
dog, basically the dog, you're
Yeah.
telling the dog, oh, what you just done here
Yeah.
is a good behavior. He gets a lot of praise.
Yeah.
You throw the toy.
Mhm.
And on some basis, if you want to give him some food or whatever, if he does something really good,
Yeah,
that's fine too. But usually it's done with lots of praise and his favorite toy.
Yep.
Bad behavior, you have to correct it. You got to let the dog know it's a bad behavior.
It's
not
unacceptable.
Wanted, it's unacceptable,
Mhm.
right? Because it could escalate to something really bad,
Yeah.
and it could involve a lot of things, a lawsuit or whatever.
Right.
Third type of training is called aversion training. What happens
What's it called? Aversion?
Aversion.
Okay.
Okay. What that is, it's exactly opposite of schmooze training, where they really praise positive reinforcement.
Yep.
Here, this one here, they praise nothing. It's all negative training. It's either you do it or you're going to suffer the consequences, like get a real bad correction.
That's
or get hurt.
bad, though, right?
It's bad. It's kind of like a really old-fashioned type of dog training.
That's terrible,
I hate to say
actually,
old school, because I'm an old school kind of guy, but it's it usually involves forcing the dog to do something right away. If he doesn't do it, I don't know, either they tug on the dog's ears, step on its toes. Which
See, that's
it's painful
oh,
of
that's
the dog.
terrible, man.
Right?
That's
Because
abuse, is
the
it
toes
not?
are very delicate,
That's
right?
abuse,
Small
wouldn't you
bones are
say?
it's borderline abuse,
Yeah.
but it does still happen, right?
Yeah, but the point is,
But
I
that's
don't
that
see.
type of training, and that's really I don't know what to say. And what they usually do too is they do throw in shock collars. And what happens is the type of trainers that use these shock collars for this type of training,
Mhm.
aversion training, they really, again, they give that training tool a
Yeah.
bad name, a bad
Yeah.
reputation.
Yeah.
Because a shock collar, when used properly, is such an effective tool,
Yeah.
right? You could train, let's say a dog has a habit, a working dog, let's say a cattle dog,
Mm-hmm.
has a habit of going after the tractor tires.
Yeah.
Because they like to control moving things.
Yeah.
A herding breed, that's what they do. Large moving things, they like to control it,
Yeah.
herd it. So what happens is if they go to a tractor tire, you don't want to do it. And these dogs are usually worked off leash.
Yeah.
So what happens is you put a shock collar on it. As soon as the dog makes a run for that
Yep. You zap 'em.
tire, you give him a correction, a zap,
Yep.
and he's got to it's going to let him know that's
Yeah.
an unwanted behavior. So that's an effective tool to use. But these guys really misuse the
Yeah.
shock training for this
Yeah.
aversion training.
Right.
So those are really the three main types. And the best one for me to use, I know PetSmart or the big box stores like using food reinforcement. They're really
Mhm.
into the smooth training, the no choke chain.
Yep.
And they really put down the choke chain and the pronge collar as a scary.
But they sell
training
them,
tool.
right?
And they sell them, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah.
where do you go with that? But the type I like to use is the second one, the mutual respect, praise the good, correct the bad. So that one topic is over and done with.
Very nice.
Yeah. And another one I want to ask you, Gary. Here's another one that's been debated.
Okay.
And I'm seeing more and more of these, especially with the Doberman and the Boxers
Okay.
and the Danes,
Okay.
is to crop the ears or not to crop. Where do you stand on that as
You
an
know,
owner?
I'm mixed on that. I mean, a lot of people that are doing these, that are breeding these dogs for show, which I'm not a really big fan of. But anyways, they would do that. I guess I would probably not. Just I'd let it go natural. That's my opinion. But to me,
Whatever the dog's born with, it
yeah,
has, right?
that's what I'm saying. Let
keeps.
it, yeah, whatever the dog's born with, let it be. Right?
That's fine.
Yep.
My opinion on it, I would crop it.
Okay. For what reason?
Let's say the Doberman
Mm-hmm.
and Boxers and Danes, they're all guard dog breeds,
Yeah.
right? They're highly dominant animals.
Yeah.
They do tendency to get in a fight. They could get the ears torn,
Ah.
big floppy ears, or pulled on.
Okay.
So if you got an intruder,
Yeah.
he could grab those ears. These are big floppy ears.
How do
Now-
they crop ears? I mean, what?
Well, what
is that?
happens is they go. I haven't seen it done, but you seen how a dog with crop ears, it kind of goes in to make
Mhm.
him stand up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now what happens is there's no nerve endings,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's basically what it is just big skin.
Okay.
So they cut that,
Okay.
right? And it's got to be done properly, and it's got to be taped properly too.
Okay.
And what happens is after a while, the dog's ears get stronger and it stands up on its own.
Okay.
All right. So and the dog can move him.
Okay. Yeah.
So but big floppy ears, they
Well,
can't.
I've seen them
And
on
for-
shepherds cropped. And
Yeah,
everything,
and
right?
a lot of
So-
breeds a lot of guard dog breeds that
Yeah.
don't can't get the ears cropped. They call them amputating, where they even cut the ear right down to the skin.
Okay.
And usually you'll see them on pit bulls and
Okay.
Cane Corsos and Presa Canarios, all these big fighting type dogs. And because if they do get in a fight, these ears can get torn. So
Where are you? Since we are located in Ontario, Canada, we have a ban in our province for pit bulls, correct?
That's right.
And where are you on that take? Did you agree with that ban or did you not?
I agreed with it.
Okay. I was just wondering.
I know most trainers don't
They
agree
don't?
with it.
I do.
I got to
I
be the
do.
only one.
And could you tell us really quick, not to be off topic, but could you tell us why you agree with the ban?
I agree with it because this is a breed that's been bred to fight. I seen what the real, what I call the real pit bull can do and what they're about.
Okay.
And I think this breed is so misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of literature, a lot of books out there that paint this breed in a different light.
Good or bad? Do they paint it like it's bad
biased.
breed?
What do I call them? Do I call them pit bull nutters? You know. I mean,
Yeah.
a real fan of this breed.
Yeah.
So they paint the dog. It's never the breed. It's always the owner.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
you're talking about a breed that's been bred to fight. Beginning of time, they were used for fight bears.
so all their
Bull
lives.
bull baiting was the main
Yeah.
thing. That's why when you hear the term lockjaw, the dog always clamps
Yeah,
and locks.
clamps,
The dog,
yeah.
the
Mhm.
dog's jaws lock. No, that's not true. No dog's jaws lock. There's no mechanism that clicks into place.
Mm-hmm.
What it is that instinct to bite and hold. Because when they were used for bull baiters, and that's where their original use was, they would grab the bull by the snout. All right, and the first thing that bull's going to do, remember, a big 2,000 pound,
Yeah,
1,500
shake.
pound bull is going to try to shake him out or fling him, right? So they got to hold on to it.
Yeah.
On his throat, a snout, whatever they could grab.
What were
on.
they doing with bulls? I mean, what was?
It's a blood sport. What they would do
Okay,
is they get a couple dogs, they get a few dogs out there, and they would even with the bears, they would the bear would be chained or declawed, even defanged or something like that. The bear basically has no chance. It's just a wicked blood sport, and they would send the pit bulls, a few of them, to wear that animal down.
Okay.
Okay, and then when that dog's when the bear, or let's say the bull, is basically beaten and near death, they'll just send in a fresh pit bull to kill it off. I don't know why. I don't know what.
I don't know. I don't get that sport.
I don't
but,
know. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I don't understand it either, but it shows you
If-
some people are not far away from the gladiator days. Right?
Yeah.
Moment in time.
If a pit bull is bred, say the parents, the sire and the bitch, have the dog, and let's say those parents were fighters, but let's say the puppy was put into a home where there's none of that going on. It was professional training, nice behavior, the whole thing. Would that dog take on those bad traits, or would they?
It could inherit it.
Okay,
right?
it could inherit it.
Yeah, it could inherit it.
Okay.
But that's where socializing comes, a lot of training, and this is why it's not a beginner breed.
Yeah.
It's not for the beginner owner.
Yeah.
Really experienced dog persons should, if they want, have this breed.
Okay.
But again, they're painted in such a light that
Well, we don't
it's a
have
great
them here
breed.
in
It's never
Ontario.
them. It's well, yeah, we do. I don't. This
Well, they're
breed's not being
grandfathered in. They were, a
It's-
lot of them
how
were.
many years ago?
Yeah,
You-
I don't know. I don't remember. But
This was in the one thing I think McGinty did right was put in this band.
yeah.
But that was what 10 years ago. 12
Oh,
years
at
ago?
least 10 years. So, but what you're
So
saying, there's
let's say
still a
from
lot of
that
them here.
day, you can't breed that dog.
Yeah.
Well, why is there dogs that are like maybe 2 years old?
Yeah,
Pitbulls are
right,
2 years old,
right.
2 years old. So something's going on.
And that's still around.
I
You
think
see
so.
them? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
so you're gonna say, oh, these are nice dogs. These are great dogs. They're great with family. They're great with kids.
Yeah.
To maybe an experienced owner, but a lot of times there's a lot of work that's involved with these dogs. And I find these dogs, when they get stressed out, that's when you get a problem.
Okay.
And like I said before in the previous episode, people don't work their dogs. They don't train their dogs. So the dog just doesn't get his walks, doesn't get his exercise. What happens? It becomes stressed. It becomes bored. And a pit bull that becomes stressed, bored, relieves it through biting.
Okay.
Right? So that's, I just think it's a breed that should be phased out.
Yeah.
Because it could, obviously gets misused. You see a lot of, let's say, back alley fighting.
Yeah. Sure.
These
Illegal
amateurs,
activity.
right? But the professionals have the true pit. And
Yeah.
from the stories I heard, I seen one years ago. And if you did see this, yeah, I think you would think differently of the pit bull.
Yeah.
Now, that's just my opinion. If you guys like the breed, that's fine. But boy, you really do your research and you really train your dog properly.
Right. Well, folks, we're coming up on the end of this segment. for K911. So again, if you're listening to this and you have any comments, suggestions, or any kind of things you want to discuss with Michael Corbin, you can respond to this channel. Or Mike, again, if someone wanted to contact you via email, what is that email address again for you directly?
Well, you can email me at corbin.k911@yahoo.ca. Even my Facebook page, you could go to Michael Corbin Reality Radio. And
that would be the best way. Okay.
And even Twitter.
Right. Okay.
Corbin K911.
Okay. So, folks, thanks again for listening to this episode of K911 on this YouTube channel. Please be sure to check out our other channels. More great information, more great expertise, insight, and knowledge from Michael Corbin. We'll talk to you again. Thanks so much.